Dhanushka, Chaurashcha, Jaganlika, Loha Yantra, sorry, Loha Yantri, Nascha Rahau. Rahu is the reference point here. Rahu will make a person who wields bows. Dhanush is a bow. Okay? Like in the sign Sagittarius, it's a bow. So somebody who wields bows. Weapons, bows particularly. Bow is the specific weapon given here. Whereas with Mars, it's all weapons. Keep that in mind. So if you have Rahu in trines to your Navamsha Lagna, you will like to wield bows. There's, this word Dhanu is a hidden reference to mantras. Because the bow is supposed to be the prana with which you send mantras away. There's a whole science of how to ensure your mantra is as powerful as possible by breathing properly. You've heard of pranayam? If you do pranayam with a mantra, its effect is 10 times that of your normal recitation of a mantra. 10 times. So some people, every morning, will do pranayam with the mantra. Okay? I do pranayam with the Gayatri every morning. And I have been doing it for 8 years. Every morning, I do pranayam with the Gayatri. Every morning. After I got Gayatri initiation, my pranayam became a bit longer. But I do it, always. You can do pranayam with Mrityunjaya mantra. You just do it 10 times. It's like doing one mala of Mrityunjaya mantra. To know how, you should ask me. I can tell you the bijas to add in the beginning or end so you do pranayam properly. Pranayam is a very important practice because it enables you to be calm and better able of doing your mantras. If you find that when you are in any state to do mantras that you're nervous, fidgety, restless, not able to focus, not able to settle with doing a mantra, easily reacting to circumstances, you should do pranayam before doing mantra. It is necessary. Anyway, the tradition, you always do pranayam before doing mantra. Always. Rahu knows this science. He knows the Vayu Tattva. And he therefore also knows how to breathe. And he also gives you the knowledge of doing mantras. So if Rahu is enshrined to your Navamsha Lagna, you will be very knowledgeable about the science of mantras. All Rahu Atma Karkas are inborn with this and will love mantras because of this. They have this. Chaurashcha means they'll be a thief. Now you like the whole mantra bit, and I say Rahu can make you a thief also.
That's the backside, is it?
Well, sort of. Usually if you have one auspicious trait, you will not have one negative trait following. So if benefics associate with the Rahu, you will not be a thief. Malefics, you will be a thief. It's the implication here.
So, Guruji, is it going too far if, for instance, somebody has Rahu in Lagna without any benefic aspect at all? Could you say that the person can be untrustworthy and thieving?
Usually these people, the people who have that, they will have a tendency to be put into a situation where they're taking money from somebody else. They'll be put in that situation. Intention and all, and what was happening and who they took from and all is Rashi. Okay? But yes, you can infer that, Dennis. You can. Then comes the next word, Jaganlika. Yeah. I like this word, Jaganlika. In the translation, they say, is somebody who may be capable of handling very poisonous and dangerous chemicals, which is true. Jaganlika means that. It also has a different meaning, a much more interesting meaning. We say the person looks like they came from the jungle. Okay? These are the people who will not be dressed properly. Instead of coming properly dressed, they'll come in undershirt and, barely their pants are on properly. You can see their underwear. They have not shaven. They are not properly looking for the occasion. Okay? Hair is all over. That is another aspect of this. And normally it happens when Rahu is on Navamsha Lagna, not in trines. When it's on Navamsha Lagna, you will see they come walking through the room. There's Jaganlaka. Late usually, not shaven, not properly dressed, always in tight undershirts, not the proper shirts, on top, no kurtas, nothing, if it was this occasion. Okay? They're not looking at a proper state. This is Jaganlika Rahu. Okay, we use this to rectify charts. Oh, yes, 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 you do this often. Put Rahu Navamsha. Okay? This is not a positive trend. It's a negative Rahu. Okay? So if you want to be sure whether Rahu in Navamsha Lagna is leaning towards Chaurascha or Danushka, look for Jaganlika first. Are they acting like they just came out of the jungle? I like to use the word Jaganlika and jungle together, then you know what this means. You'll never forget it. Jungle yoga. Loha yantrinascha. Loha means iron. Okay? And can also refer to any metals. But usually it refers specifically to iron. So these people can work with iron and heavy metals, usually heavy steel, iron. But the word yantrina has two meanings in connection with this word, iron. It can refer to somebody who works with big, heavy machinery. Loha yantrinascha, because yantra means machinery. Machines in general. Anything which has moving parts also, large moving parts, however. But is also a very specific reference to somebody who works with yantra. So we were talking earlier and I said Rahu is yantra. This is the sutra which just justifies that. Okay. If you have Rahu in trines to Navamsha Lagna, get into yantras. You'll be very successful. You will. Of course, if it's well placed. Keep that in mind. Somebody comes to you and you see Rahu in trines to Navamsha Lagna. Do you work with machines? Yes. And they'll be very surprised. Rahu in Libra, for example. You work with machines related to appearance and cosmetics. Yes, they do. Their earning is from machines. They have great knowledge about it. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Can it be computers? No? Big machines.
Big machines, yes. Yeah. Not small machines.
Big computers.
Big ones. Must be like with big moving parts.
My son has traveled on Lagna, Jaganlika.
Yeah, he's like Jaganlika.
No, never.
Benefics means it.
Venus Atmakarakla travel.
Oh.
Very tidy, very good looking.
You put Shri Yantra in the house, you will see what will happen to him. He will rise like anything in his life. Career, education, everything. He must just have a Shri Yantra in the home. Life will be good. Superb life. Venus Rahu. Shri is Venus.
But in Danu, I am also doubt about some accidents.
Only if negative. Okay, that's good. Then he will change his life after that. Don't worry about that. Because that means that when he gets into a Danush mood, that means he's about to make a wrong decision in his life. And normally they will know. Atmakaraka in a sign, they will know. Oh, this is because I'm about to make this decision. Fine. It doesn't have to be a big accident. So, Venus is Shri, Rahu is Yantra. Shri Yantra.
Very interesting. I have also this combination.
I know you do.
So the parents and child have same conditions somewhere?
Sometimes they do. Why did I say you must put Shri Yantra in your house? Venus Shri, Rahu Yantra. Okay. Sun, Surya, Rahu Yantra, Surya Yantra. Okay? Mars is Agni. Or it can also be Skanda. Rahu Yantra, Skanda Yantra, Rahu Yantra.
What is the
Agni
direction
Yantra.
of Shri Yantra? What is the direction of Shri Yantra?
Direction?
I mean the south, west, north,
Always east.
east.
All yantras east. They will show on it which direction they can be facing. Always east. Top is always east. There's no doubt about that. All yantras are like that. So whichever graha is associated with Rahu, you should learn about that yantra.
When you say association, need not only be...
Junction aspect. Done.
Okay, done.
Rashi.
Yes. Rashi Drishti must be there. If you have a problem with Guru Rahu in your chart, get Guru Yantra. Problem solved. Guru and Rahu will be happy with each other. Multiple grahas.
Yes.
Multiple yantras. Some people like to furnish their home with yantras. I know one Kanya Lagna who has a yantra in every nick and corner of their house. Okay? It doesn't mean it's a good thing, but they do that because Rahu is a co-lord.
Can we print from internet?
Yes, you can. You should.
Or just, is there something special metal for the Sri Yantra? It's gold?
See. If you just want to put it on the wall, then you can print it out from the internet. If you get a really nice copy from the internet, then you can frame it in glass. You can worship it. How you worship a yantra will tell you what is happening in your home. If you keep it in a solid metal, if you keep the yantra in a solid metal, then that solid metal gives a lot of stability in the home. So if you're going to use paper, be sure that the paper is not having tears or cuts or anything. It must be very nice. Preferably some cardboard, very hard. Like some of you got the Vyasa yantra in cardboard. Okay? It should be very, sturdy, strong. Laminated, keep it strong, keep it intact. That's why some people do this in metals. They use copper or silver or gold. Gold is by far the best. You get a yantra in gold, money will not cease in that house. It will not, even just a small one. Money will not cease. Silver, supreme comfort in the house. Copper, good health, good direction, good life. Raja Yoga.
It's Digbala, above Digbala.
The metals have their benefits. Like sun and Mars, Agni, copper, relate to good direction, seeing things. Yeah, they're very good for astrologers, copper yantras, because of the Agni associated. Gold is associated with Jupiter. Wealth does not cease. Happiness does not cease. Silver, Venus and Moon. Comfort does not cease. You have a small bathroom in your house, you put in a nice silver Shri yantra, that small bathroom will be converted to a nice big bathroom with bathtub and everything. Super comforts will come. Suddenly you'll have all sorts of soaps given to you. Like use this soap, use this oil, silver.
Can we put in each room?
You just need one room, that's enough. Don't put in the bathroom, please. I didn't mean you should put it in the bathroom. Put it in only in the prayer place, and that's it. Every morning, take some sandal paste and offer in the middle. The yantra will wake up. The devata comes alive, says, you have cold.
You can also put gemstones on them, right?
The gemstones you put, but then you still offer sandal paste on top.
No, I mean you can put gemstones inside the yantra.
Yes, you can even take a gemstone and make into a yantra. I know one person who has a ruby Shri yantra. How did he do it? It's not a flat yantra. It is like a pyramid. You can get them in India. You can get crystal Shri yantras, like a pyramid. This is most appropriate. Okay? Venus Rahu, definitely must get crystal pyramid like Shri yantras, like that. You can also have it flat, but crystal is the same as Venus Moon Yoga. Same effects, same benefits. He had one of a ruby.
Made of ruby.
Made of a ruby. One solid ruby. He had nice Shri yantra made.
How big?
I don't know how big it is. It's probably like at maximum is the palm of his hand. Maximum.
So what's happening?
No, maximum size of a Shri yantra is like this. Of any yantra for that matter. This is maximum size. Your palms of your hands together. Both palms.
No.
No. I mean, I like that. But for worship,
Yeah.
it should only be like this. Okay? The two
Like
palms of your
hands.
hand put together. That's the size. So I think he must have just like a palm, maybe a small palm of his hand. Something like that.
Probably the inner bit of his hand, but
Because of the size of the ruby.
yeah.
So he got this. He worships it every day with this, or he worshipped it every day with the mantras. And we know him today as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He had
That's true.
what he could do with that Shri Yantra, my God. What you can do with the Shri Yantra. Harry Potter toys, eh? Okay.
Sorry,
can I
for
just-
both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As there's malefic joint Rahu in my chart, this is Manga. The only benefic aspecting them is Guru. So is it better to take Guru Yantra or
Agni Yantra, then Mars and Rahu become happy with each other.
how about Narasimha Yantra?
Yes, Narasimha Yantra. Yes. Hmm?
That was the same question. Rahu to join Mars.
And-
Agni Mantra.
Agni
have-
Yantra.
Yantra, so.
Same. You have the same
Mars
yoga.
Rahu in- And is there any benefic with Rashi Rishta?
But
in it?
now I'm opposite.
So you're
you-
thinking between Moon and Mars.
Look, this is not restrictive to Navamsha. You can use this in Rashi also. Preferably you should use the type of yantras from Rashi for your personal benefit. But Navamsha can tell you What is your real knowledge coming from? What is your real ability coming from? And where can the real comforts come from? Like if two grahas are joining each other, you want to make them happy with each other, and one is Rahu, you can just give that make that yantra.
In my case, that is in Capricorn, so I really want to,
Oh,
do that.
It's good.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. I'm not refuting any of the purposes that you may have. Do as you like. I will not say anything against it. Dakshinamurti yantra.
Touching.
Okay.
Mango Rahu.
And sun.
Dakshino
And sun.
and Sun.
Sun is the most important one.
So what happens
Moon
if she's
Rahu.
in charge? Rahu is alone.
Like Sri Yantra. Moon Rahu.
Moon Rahu can be Sri yantra, yes. Durga yantra.
Mm-hmm.
So for Dakshinamurti yantra, you were saying that you can use copper, gold, silver. For Dakshinamurti.
Just get Dakshinamurti yantra.
That's
Copper is a good idea.
Okay.
Where we can find those proper Yantra looks, because on the internet there are, like,
Yeah, there are all sorts of things there. All the yantra descriptions are given in the Puranas, in the Tantras. So you need somebody to help you with that. There are some books which detail this. I should go find them for you. Okay? I have one book, Purascharanava Tantra. It actually details many yantras. Especially Mahavida yantras, it's deep into. Yes. I don't think you can go wrong with Sri yantra. There is no ambiguity there. Narasimha yantra, no ambiguity there. Dakshinamurti yantra, there probably are 2 or 3 different ones, but that's okay. Just one of them, the standard one you should take. So like that.
Is there any particular site that you recommend?
Website?
Or any yantras?
No, I don't know any specific ones. There are some people who work a lot with this, who are very sincere. Usually they're from Maharishi's movement, the Tia movement. They're very sincere.
Yeah, they love it.
They love this, yes. So it's good for you to focus on it. Sri yantra, no problem. Everybody knows exactly how Sri yantra should be made. They know exactly. They'll even tell you how to draw it yourself. So you get perfect measurements if you want that. Otherwise, others people can do it for you easily.
what would be the Guru and Rahu combination? What type of
Guru yantra I mentioned earlier.
Guru Yantra?
Yeah, Guru yantra for sure. Or Surya yantra you can also. You can. But I recommend Guru yantra.
Mhm.
Okay?
You can do also for your clients, yantras, and sell them.
I know, Rahu in actually. Maybe I'm chowda. No. Benefics aspect. Jaganlika, I didn't shave today. It's okay?
Yeah, but your hair looks fine.
Oh, then it's not Jaganlika.
Properly dressed.
Then chowda's not there, there's no Jaganlika. Properly dressed, oh, no problem here at all. Loha yantri nascha, where are my yantras? Where are my machines? I don't know, I have to find it.
Your bow is outside.
Okay. Good. Oh, we're still on the same slide. Okay. Gaja,
Gaja.
Vyavaharina,
Vyavaharina,
Chaurascha,
Chaurascha,
Ketao.
Ketao.
Gaja. This one word, Gaja, has such deep meaning. Specifically, Gaja Vyavahara means somebody who's occupied with dealing with elephants. Okay? And it would seem as if there are only 2 principles or other results given for this this yoga with Ketu. One will work with elephants and will be a thief. Okay? So, now later we'll get into more meanings of Ketu, but we have to understand why he has spoken of this. Ketu, when it causes a person to deal with Gaja, means 2 things physically. A person can deal with elephants or large trucks. Like you've seen some of those truck drivers in India. They're big trucks, and they're driving there and it's fully decorated and all. That can also be indicated by Ketu. Now obviously, if we're talking about profession, then we have about 6 houses in Navamsha which can indicate that. 10,000 is trines, Lagnan is trines. It also refers to somebody who is in the occupation of making others headless all the time. Okay? Somebody whose work is to make people headless. Like there are some people whose main job is to convert people or to convert them to being terrorists, for example. That's Ketu, when you're doing that occupation. Everybody must be headless and follow one order. Or big army generals. Soldiers must do what I say and they must not think. In fact, that's what they're told in the army. You must not think, just do. That's Ketu. Don't think, just do. My brother was in the army, and every time he did something wrong, he said, you told us not to think. So we did a mistake. And literally they abide by this. Ketu is the control freak of the zodiac.
Control freak.
He is the control freak. Everybody must be under his control. Some people think it's Rahu because manipulating, making everybody scheming this that. But Rahu allows you to think so that and thinks 10 steps before you so that he can plan what you're doing. Ketu, no, you must not think at all. Just do. That is control freak yoga. Everything must be under Ketu's control. Must be headless, do only as I say, do only as I do. It's Ketu. Okay? Bit of a problem, this Ketu fellow. Therefore, for that reason, Scorpio Lagna has a tendency to be very controlling because of this Ketu. Very controlling.
I grew up with two of them.
No, for Mars,
Yeah.
for Ketu. No, for Mars.
Not Mars, only
Ketu.
Ketu. Ketu does this.
Of course, you would never admit to it if you were asked.
That's a separate issue. Ketu does this. Certain combinations in a chart can cause this Ketu to cause OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, which is a means for you to try and control your life because you feel it's going out of control, chaos. So you try to obsessively control something. So Ketu can also do that. That's what all that's meant by this Gaja Vyavaharina. The dual signs are the most controlling. Did you know that?
I'm not as if thoughts try to control my life too much.
The dual signs, Ketu is exalted in one dual sign, Murtrikona on the other side.
That did cross my mind. It's
So
only
he
that
has
I-
very strong impact on the dual signs. So people who have dual lagnas be very controlling by nature. People who have dual signs should marry people who have fixed lagnas. Why? Because they're the easiest to control. Okay. Fixed lagnas, they're like, yeah, do as you like. You know, they see some control, they see that leash coming on them, they're like, I can survive with this, it's no problem. Fixed lagnas will do that.
Yes, but then only Rashis in which Ketu is exalted or Mutrikona. Why those which are Mutrikona and exaltation of Rahu?
Yes. Yes. So Rahu also gets involved, right? So those where Rahu gets most involved, their type of control is through words. Okay?
What about Leo?
Sagittarius and Pisces can control through other means.
What about Leo? They're quite principled.
They're quite principled, but they're easiest to control. Okay? They're easiest to control.
Just stroke their ego.
Yeah, that's what the dual signs do. They're very smart.
Yeah, we know how to
They're the
handle.
most intelligent in the zodiac, really. Mercury and Jupiter, the big brains of the zodiac. All the others, they're just falling in line after them. So what do dual signs do?
Tell them, "You're so good.
How to
You're
deal
the
with a Leo
best."
Lagna? They just find their weakness. You're such a dedicated man, such a dedicated husband. You know exactly how to do things. 2-3 seconds, Leo Lagna's flat. Shit. Right.
The problem is with Scorpio Lagna, right? Your sign with the Scorpio Ketu.
Yeah, that gets even worse.
Scorpio.
Scorpio Lagna, but here's the dilemma. Scorpio Lagna wants to control things.
Yes.
He wants to.
Yeah.
But he will be the easiest to control. As long as you tell him, yes, you're the man of the house. This is what the ladies will do. You're the man of the house. Yes, I'm the man of the house. After that, the lady can do what she wants with you. No problem.
You can
Easy.
control.
Don't give him too many
That's
ideas. You're exposing us, bro. Don't give them ideas.
It's good for you to know this because the worst Lagna that a dual sign can marry.
your wife will have dual Lagna.
Remember this.
With Ketu in Lagna.
This is important. The worst Lagna that a dual Lagna can marry is a movable Lagna. Because they are running all over the place.
Or dual Lagna itself. Then
No, they will control each other just fine. Okay? Mutual
Kill
control.
each other.
Yeah. Control here, control there. They'll understand each other. No problem. No problem. But if a dual lagna marries a movable lagna, he will feel as if or she will feel as if the whole marriage is like, I don't know where you are. You're always running here, running there, going here, going there. Everywhere you're going, I have no idea where you are.
Yeah.
Movable lagna.
Problem.
The best lagna for the movable lagnas to marry is again the fixed lagnas. Why? Because the fixed lagnas will say, okay, no problem, go.
Yeah, I'm here.
You are here? There's another example right next to you. He has Leo lagna. His girlfriend is Cancer lagna. She's running all over the place. And he's like, yeah, sure. But if he was dual lagna, he would be like, where are you going? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Or saying things to make the partner be less running around. So, dual lagnas, if you're going to marry a movable lagna, please understand.
God be with you.
God be with you, yes. Please understand, you must release a bit of control. Because you will be struggling to keep that relationship under control. Although there's no problem. The movable lagna will be like, well, I have my friends, I have my this, I have my that, I'm going here, I'm going there, and I have to do it. The movable lagna will not understand what you're trying to say. And you're trying to say, no, we must be like this, it must be like that. It's not like you want your whole life organized, but you have this need to set some control over your life.
Branka is also dual lagna.
Yes, my wife is dual lagna, I am fixed lagna, so it's perfect match.
Your wife is doable.
It's perfect match.
I just don't want him to get ideas, okay?
You don't want them to know the secrets.
Yes.
Keep this in mind. It's all arising from this Ketu. Can also be a thief, Chaurascha. See, Rahu and Ketu like to work at night. When they become negative, they will surely work at night. And then these activities, stealing and all, can come up to form. Okay? Just keep that in mind also. So that was Control Freak Sutra.
You mentioned the lagnas in the 9th chart.
This is Rashi. Rashi Lagna. Just Rashi Lagnas. It's derived from this.
Yeah, okay.
That is dual Lagna in Rashi, movable line in Rashi, fixed line in Rashi, Lagna in Rashi. But all this way to Control Freaks and all is again Ketu in Rashi. Regarding work exactly, professions and all, then we talk on Navamsha. For example, working with elephants could be a thief. Will earn through big trucks and working with trucks and large movable vehicles. Okay, large vehicles are indicated here. You can also see the Dashamsha for this. For example, Ketu in 10,000 in Navamsha, tell the person to become the manager of a trucking company. Right?
In Dashamsh.
In Navamsha. In 10,000 Navamsha. What he's doing in the trucking company will be seen from Dashamsha. Like, is he just organizing the drivers? Is he himself driving? Is he handling the accounts? All that is seen from there.
What about that shloka about Ketu? Message that is specifically related to precise
Yes,
machines and
yes,
computers.
yes, yes.
Like
There is a difference. That means that Ketu can do both. He can do both.
very tiny and very big.
See, this is relating to vehicles which are moving.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's not big machines. Rahu is big machines.
Okay.
Ketu is still small machines, but he deals with vehicles which move. Large vehicles for industrial use. Industrial vehicles.
Got a small question. Listening earlier to some of the classes that kids will act like Mars in 10th house. And then also.
Oh, the 10th house and then further from Vara.
How? In Rashi,
No, in also.
Ketu will act like Mars. Are you sure I didn't say moon?
Ketu, Surya,
No,
Moon,
Ketu.
Mars. Yes,
Ketu.
it should behave like Mars, but don't like
Ketu, Sun, Moon. You're right, Mars. That's a separate sutra. We'll get there.
Separate.
Separate sutra.
But that goes only for Lagna, not for
We have
10th
more
house
sutras,
itself.
don't worry. More sutras, and they're very detailed. Okay? Whatever is in 10,000 is what you learn from. There's another thing for some other nifty things. Now, what else do I have to tell you about this sutra? Ketu tends to give a disbelief in bhoga. Like Venus is the bhogi. Ketu does not like that view. He doesn't think that you should have excess enjoyment. He believes in the utilitarian rule, the utilitarian philosophy, which means if something is useful, then keep it. If it's not useful, throw it away.
Useful, practical.
Very practical, yes.
I didn't expect that from Ketu.
Very practical. Yes, he's very practical, you see. He doesn't like to think too much.
Give.
He's not a big planner. He's not a big planner. He doesn't like to invest too much mental energy in anything. It's useful, keep it. Not throw it away.
Give spirituality.
Yes,
also, no?
that is the positive aspect of him. If he's influenced by good grahas and good signs, then he'll be spiritual. More malefic
Jupiter.
grahas, he becomes more and more crude. More raw. as we call
Jupiter,
it.
very good.
Jupiter, it's very good. That means the philosophy is rising. More knowledge is coming. It's because there's a lack of knowledge that he's not rising beyond that. Tamasic grahas associated with Ketu will try and push the knowledge down and becomes more practical, more crude. No, not many big philosophies in the mind. Nothing like that.
Jupiter, very good. The sun, again,
Sun will give him a head. That's good. Then he'll start thinking.
It's Shiva who's going on.
Yes. Because of this lack of belief in bhoga, the idea of enjoying life, he doesn't like that, you see. He will always have a problem with Venus and Moon. So he's always battling Venus and Moon, Ketu. Therefore also, when Moon is joined Ketu, the person will always find themselves under the control of others. And this can make one start some very fundamentalist practices. Terrorism, all that stuff comes from this beginning, Moon Ketu Yoga.
Is it also connected to Ketu eclipsing their mind or
That is what is happening. Yes. It can be positive in some cases and give very deep spirituality. Because of that, the mind is not functioning in a normal way anymore. The mind is not being led to just run about and do whatever it wants. See, the control has now come on the mind. So is it going to be good control or bad control? Like if you're born during a lunar eclipse, then Moon Ketu Yoga can mean you're about to open the doors to God. Because Moon will be joined one of the nodes in a lunar eclipse. It will. You're about to open the doors to God.
Moon can join Ketu in one of us. Is that a good one? No, then.
We have to see that. We have to see that. Maybe your wife will put your mind under complete control, or there will be something good which comes out of that. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, for consultations, we have times between breaks, in breaks. Anyway, to overcome this, we have as dictum, Kalo Chandi Vinayaka. For the nodes, Kalo, the dark ones, Chandi and Vinayaka worshipped. So for Ketu, we can worship Ganesha to overcome this. Ganesha got ahead. Similarly, for any graha joined Ketu, there is a mantra. You must add Nama in the beginning of the mantra, and the name of the Devata after that. For example, Ketu with Mars, Namah Skandaya.
Ketu, Mars.
In Rashi,
Any chart. Any chart where you see a problem with Ketu. But you see that Ketu is acting very badly, putting them under the control. Like what is Mars Ketu Yoga? Pishacha Yoga? Where you are being possessed by Pisachas. Or somebody else is being possessed by Pisachas. Then what do you have to do? Namaskandaya. Guru Ketu. Namba Samba Shivaya. Sun, Namah Shivaya. Moon, Namah Gaurye. Mars we did, Skanda. Mercury, Namah Vishnave.
And Shani.
Jupiter, Shivaya.
Venus, Jupiter is not Shiva. Jupiter is Samba Shivaya. Namah Samba Shivaya.
And Shani.
Shani, what do you think? Namo Narayanaya.
Pratyadi.
Mhm. How about with Venus? Namo Shri Lakshmi. Namah Shri Lakshmi.
Is a Ketu Shani and Ketu Mangal Yoga, are they similar in effect?
To some extent. They both deal with spirits, but the mood is different. The mood is different.
And one is anger and the other one is
Sorrow.
sorrow.
The whole second year will be full of these
Entity.
nodes with
Next year.
Saturn and Mars yogas.
Next year.
So,
And just as you said that, the next class.
oh yeah, now we're going to get into some of these fellows. Tatra, Manda, Sarpa Yosthambula, Dayi. Tatra can mean second house. Okay? And in this context, we should be careful in how we use it. Because this is a very detailed sutra. It first says that Tatra means the preceding sutra or second house. The preceding sutras have all been dealing with first house from Navamsha Lagna. Okay? And I've said to some extent they can be applied to the trines, to some extent. And I mentioned where. Manda is Saturn, the slow one. Had it been long A, keep this in mind, had this been long A, Manda, then it would not be Saturn, but his son, Mandi. So you must know this terminology. It's very different. Sarpa. Okay. Sarpa is referred to in the Kala Chakra. You saw the Sarpa was at the bottom, remember? It was some down here, and then you had Shiva opposite, who was riding the bull and riding the Sarpas. Which direction was this in the Kala Chakra? The western direction?
West, yeah.
Which graha rules that? In Dik Chakra it does, but in Kala Chakra?
Shukra.
Venus. This Sarpa is a direct reference to dirty sexuality. Bad sexuality comes from the word Sarpa also. People with Sarpa Yoga have a very high level of sexuality in them because the desires are really going haywire. There's too much poison in their system.
Is it only related to sexuality or is some other things like...
Sarpa specifically relates to sexuality but also relates to poisons in general. Therefore also when you see in the zodiac, we mentioned that the sign of Vrishabha is the bull, which Shiva rides. Okay? The bull is also seen from the western direction, right? Which Venus is lording. So I talked of, with the bull, I talked of fertility. Okay? Scorpio is also called Sarpa. You remember we said Shri Sarpa. Remember? Jala Shri Sarpa. I mentioned for Vrishika in the previous lecture, yesterday's lecture. Remember? That is also related to Shiva, but is that snake portion of Shiva. So one is bull, one is snake. The bull is fertility, the snake is sexuality. So planets in Scorpio can cause serious problems with sexuality. Okay?
Any planet.
High desires and not decent desires. They're not normal. They're not for a normal marital relationship. Okay? So always check for that. If there are too many planets in Scorpio Navamsha, can even be Scorpio Rashi if it's heavily afflicted, then this Sarpa gets activated negatively also. But in this context, but Jaimini wants us to look at Saturn. And this has, therefore, also a slightly different connotation. When we talk of sexuality, then this sutra relates to second house, not first house. Make sure you get this, because the same sutra I'll say first house for some other things. And that second house, when Saturn is in second house, it'll cause these problems with sexuality after you get married, not before. After you get married, then these sexuality problems will take place. And you need to calm them down. Other grahas there will mitigate this, which we'll see. I think there's a
A second, I don't think I got it. What's the difference between second and first house? Now you said the Rashi.
I'll tell you about first house, but I'm going to tell you that when you talk of sexuality, Saturn this is a reference to Saturn in second house. The same Sarpa, which can deal with ingesting something bad, some poison in the system, will also relate to first house. Okay?
So sometimes we use this shloka for second, and sometimes for first.
For first,
depending on
both.
context.
And then I'll also tell you how to use it for any house. This tambula, Sarpayos tambula, is a direct reference to drugs. Because tambula refers to aphrodisiacs. And Sarpayos tambula is a direct reference to aphrodisiacs which are poisoning the system and causing you to be unaware of what's happening. Okay? It causes you to be unable to see what's happening. This is more so if the nodes are involved, even more so. Dayi will give to others. It can also mean the person will take. So this is a very important sutra. All those cases of people being drugged, people who have been, sexually taken advantage of under the influence, all of them come under this sutra here. Saturn and the nodes also. I must add the nodes. So this one you must be careful with. Saturn with Ketu, Saturn with Rahu, then you should start seeing, okay, are they related to the houses of sexuality? Maybe this person rapes others or has been raped under the influence. This sutra deals with that. All of those. So this is one of the icky sutras, I call it. Not so nice sutra. But it's useful. If you understand this, then you can protect a person from this. Houses of sexuality are the 3rd, 7th and 11th houses. If this associates with those houses, then be attentive and see, okay, is this really going to be a problem or is it not a problem? Okay?
And 11.
3rd, 7th and 11th.
Like,
So is there a difference between them?
Kama
There's a very distinct difference. 3rd is your sexuality.
Okay. So it is the person who may potentially abuse somebody else.
Maybe the desires are like that, but they will not act. That's 3rd house. 7th house is the partner's sexuality. And 11th house decides what will happen and what will not happen in the sexuality. The completion, the fulfillment is the 11th house. That's why the 11th is the 5th from the 7th. It's the future of the 7th. Okay? From this we see normally, if the 3rd is related to the 11th, then whatever that 3rd is indicating, that will happen because you are instigating it. If the 7th is associated with the 11th, then it's the partner who's instigating it. And it is happening. You can have Saturn in 7th house in Navamsha. That means you're at risk of somebody taking advantage of you like this. But if it does not associate with the 11th, they cannot do it. Understand? You will think these are very, very small yogas, but it's so important. The 11th can protect you, also is important.
Shukra is the one protecting if respecting this combination.
Shukra will definitely try to fight the Saturn. Definitely. He fights Saturn and the nodes. Sun will also protect. Jupiter will also protect. Even Mars will try to protect you. In fact, none of the other grahas will allow these Saturn and the nodes to function. They won't allow them.
Moon not.
Moon will also try to protect. Because all the other grahas believe you must have a different type of marriage. Saturn is called Rakshasa Vivaha, which means when you are getting wedded to that person, you are in deep fear for your life. We call that rape. Okay? Rahu and Ketu, Pisacha Vivaha. You are not even aware that it was happening. You get married to somebody you don't even know it's happening. It also relates to being drugged or being asleep or whatever is happening in this case. All the other grahas do not allow this. They will not.
So it's not necessarily connected only to the 2nd house, or...
This is particularly related to 7th house and its trines when we talk of sexuality. Okay? That's okay, Jens. We're letting it burn out. It's fine. Thanks. Got it? Now, if I really have to teach you this, I have to show you many examples, and it's a scary topic, but you have to know it. You have to know this. It also relates to drugs in general, like if a person likes drugs or takes drugs, abusing drugs, then we analyze Saturn first and foremost. Then the influence of Rahu and Ketu have different impacts, but mainly Saturn is what we'll analyze. Okay? For example, I was mentioning Saturn's association with the 6th house is what we normally look for when it comes to drugs. But I'll use a certain Bhoga Rashi for that, and that's we'll discuss later. Okay? Then we have to learn about all sorts of Arudas and stuff now. Okay. Dayi, the person shares these things. So, a drug dealer is indicated by such Saturn. So, a person is selling drugs to others also is indicated by Saturn. So what does this mean? If Saturn is in Navamsa Lagna, you will be a drug dealer. I have to find a chart of that and we'll check.
It has to join nodes, right? Is that a must?
Could be, yes. Could be. I'd say it more depends on the sign it's in, to be honest. Next sutra. Chape, Chandre, Navika. Now, Chape means 4th house here in this context. Cha is 6, Pa is 1. Okay? So 6, 1, reverse, 1, 6, 16. Remember that 16? Remove multiples of 12, you'll get 4. So 4th house. So if 4th house in D16 has the moon, you'll have a boat. Right? Jaimini is smart, isn't he? D16 has to do with vehicles. How do you see vehicles in Navamsha? You cannot. Moon in D16 will show boats, yachts, all those things.
But then this can go for some of the previous sutras if they were...
I did mention the Shamsa a few times, didn't I? Hint, hint. Ah.
No, you didn't mention the Shamsa.
I did mention the Shamsa for a few sutras.
Yeah,
I
but
said
you
it
didn't
is.
say that it's...
No, he did.
I just didn't derive the sutra.
No number.
Okay. Be nice, huh? Be nice. Otherwise I'll take all day with one sutra. It's not fair. Now, so moon can indicate that, particularly water vehicles, boats. What about 4th house in the D9 chart? 4th house in D9 chart is the heart chakra.
Yes.
Okay? So it can mean that you must take and build a fountain in your house or home. If you do that, your prana will always be working properly. Prana will be working very nicely. Prana will always be strong. Because the 4th house in Navamsha shows what must be in your home for your prana to be strong. Later on we have to get into how to build your house based on Navamsha. Okay. Next sutra. Shukra Drishtau Visheshana. So, what is said here is, if Shukra associates with this moon, what if Venus aspects, that means Venus aspecting what? This moon. It expands those indications. Like then it'll be not just a normal boat, it'll be a big boat, yacht. Big ships. In Dashamsha, this can give big businesses also. Moon Venus Yoga. Remember we talked about Moon Venus Yoga earlier? The blessings of Moon Venus Yoga?
Now
How Dennis, he just lands up in that office and the business starts going. So in Dashamsha, this can refer to big businesses also. And this can also be related to boats. Yeah, we have to get you into big business. Okay, we need to get you there. If Mars is associated with the boats, keep in mind, then it is Marines. You're in the military, so it's military boats. Venus moon can specifically indicate oil tankers. This is huge boats. Huge. I mean, they're not boats, they're ships. Maersk, Danish company, shipping industry, Venus moon yoga. All they do is fray oil all over the world.
They're more into container shipping.
Now they're in container. Okay, yeah. I know they're into oil also.
Yeah, oil they used to be big. Now it's containers.
So they went from Venus moon to some other moon. Okay, containing. How to contain stuff. Jupiter, right? Treasures, containing stuff. So Jupiter moon yogas, they got involved in.
Should it be firstly in the night chart?
No, this is really for Dashamsha, to be honest. This is for D10 chart. What you're working with.
I hear, but I never deal with this one.
Which house is it in?
Third house in Scorpio.
Then
Because
there's
of
no
the
problem.
house.
House is important. You have to work with it, right? Not every time that you leave your work, you're going on a ship to somewhere, like a yacht or a cruise. Third house is where you're taking vacation. Okay,
That's fine.
maybe. But third house can support business. So if one pushes one in that line, there's a possibility. Tatra translates to second house by Katapayadi Varga, as well as continuity from previous sutra. We've discussed Tatra before. Since death is being where is death being described? This is some copy-paste from something else. Ah, yes, we had one sutra which this is a copy-paste from. Never mind, we'll move on. I'll delete that for later. Okay, next sutra. Ravi Rahu Bhyam Sarpa Nidanam. Sun Rahu joining Swamsa indicates death due to snake venom. Any poison is indicated because Sarpa can indicate any poisons. So when Sun and Rahu join, it can indicate that one is dying due to snake bite, poison, being poisoned in some way.
Nuclear explosion can be it.
Yes, poison from what we call yes, what do we call that? Radioactive poisoning. Yes, can.
So
Exactly.
in Japan, all of the people say this program.
Maybe. You should look for that, right? You should look for that.
Depends if they got poison, if they got it from it.
Yeah, you can get poisoned from it and not die, so that means it could be in Rashi, not Navamsha, and all that stuff can occur. Maybe it's in Rudramsha, your country is suffering, so you're oh. Okay, never mind. Okay, Nidanam means one dies from this, but it doesn't have to imply that. The remedy for this is Medha Dakshinamurti mantra. Person has this yoga, tell them to do Medha Dakshinamurti mantra.
Can you give this mantra?
I gave it,
Can you
I did,
Which
yes. So last week I think I gave it. It's in your notes.
one?
It starts some Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye. It's there. It's there.
Is any house or only Langa and Trina?
Associated with third house Maruda Lagna, then it's cause of death, right? In Rashi. If it is there in Navamsha, maybe you're working with poisons. In Dashamsha, it's definitely that your work involves poisons. Maybe you're handling them. Maybe you're dealing with very, very serious poisons, you know. Can we call LSD a poison?
It's more of a drug.
It is a drug, but like serious, dangerous.
Alters consciousness, yes.
Alters consciousness. Because even drugs which deal with altering consciousness come under Sadhana Rahu. Like serious, like the intense ones. Okay?
What is morphine then?
Something
It
like
could simply be Saturn because it sedates you. Sun Rahu does not sedate you. Saturn is sedating, like you become numb. Saturn causes you to be numb, without feeling.
So the difference is whether you become numb or you start hallucinating and seeing.
Yes, then Sun Rahu will lead more towards that sort of hallucinating factor. becoming thrilled, excited. You know, you have serious ups and downs maybe in your mood. Could be.
So all designer drugs will go under that.
I would infer that, yes. There's a lot of manipulation with the with the elements. In case of Sun Rahu.
Yeah, because that's what they do in designer drugs. They manipulate the chemicals and bring out something new.
That makes sense to me. I can agree to that. For example, normally you will see if this Sun Rahu Yoga is there in the Rashi chart, then the person will meet these substances. They'll be people will make them familiar with this. Okay.
But it also gives high insight, doesn't it?
It can, if it is giving spirituality, yes. Like if one of them is Atma Karaka, that is giving insight. Okay. Next sutra. Shubha Drishte. Satri Vritti. The association of benefics will ensure that the above negatives of dying does not happen. Next sutra is related to this. Shubhamatra Sambandha Jangalika. See, earlier when we heard the word Jangalika, I was saying jungle yoga. Don't worry, now it's not jungle yoga. Now it refers to that those poisons are under control. So, if only benefics associate with this Sun Rahu Yoga, it means that these poisons are under control. You are controlling them. Maybe it is your job to control them. Like a doctor which is handling, antivenom. Antivenom is what doctors can do, especially in places where snake bites are common. So handling poisons, handling serious drugs come under Shubha Matra. Shubha Matra means if only benefics. So if malefics get involved, then it gets more difficult. So here's a simple dictum. More benefics means more under control, less problematic drugs, less harmful. More malefics means added harmfulness. So some people need these Sun Rahu Yogas so that they can cure other people's diseases. Right? Some doctors come under this definition.
Is the connection like Parivartana could be connection with benefic?
Yeah, definitely. Then it'll definitely ensure that the poison is reversed. There's a poison, it's being reversed, it's being taken away. Correct. Next sutra. Kuja Matra Drishte. Grihadahako Agnido. Va. If only Ma's aspects, the house will burn down. Grihadahako Agnidova, which means we'll be dealing with fire. There'll be a lot of fire. Now, this fire part of it is what I call bomb yoga. So Sun Rahu Ma's bomb yoga. Just to say that blindly, bomb yoga is there. There's a bomb over there. Grihadahako refers to houses being burnt. So if your fourth house is under this affliction, there could be fire in the house. Even if this is definitely Rashi chart. Definitely. Because you don't see a house from 4,000 Navamsha.
Can I ask you something? Oh no, it was D16. Okay.
What is matra in the shloka, in the sutra? Sorry.
Matra means only.
Only.
Okay? So other planets associating with this can change this significantly, which we'll see in the next sutra. Now the burning down of houses need not be your house, it can be somebody else's house. Neighbor's house can also burn down with this. Okay? You have to keep this in mind because when you do this, when you start reading this, you can see who is involved in what based on this sutra. Okay?
Can it also be a person who likes to set other people's houses on fire?
Yeah, it can. It can.
Work in the marine.
Pyromaniac, what do you call
Yeah,
it?
this is the same definition. What do you call the
Pyromaniac.
pyromaniacs? Yes. They come under this. Parashara adds that while the aspect of a benefic indicates capability to cure snake venom and other poison affliction, the danger of snake bite should not be predicted. A malefic's aspect surely indicates death due to snake bite. Ma's alone aspect in the yoga, in Karakamsha, indicates one who will burn his own house or that of others. So the difference is here. If this is from Navamsha Lagna, you could be a fireman, somebody who puts out fires. You could be somebody who has to deal with bombs. Okay? You could be one who deals with snake bite. But from Atma Karaka Navamsha, it means you yourself are carrying that energy of that fire, that bomb. So there's a risk that such a person could go and burn other people's house down. Or their own. Okay? It can be also their own. That we will see here. Oh no, not this one. Okay, next one will come. This is an example. This is Rashi chart. Is there any Rahu, Sun, Mars, Yoga or anything like that?
Sun, Rahu,
And you
and
said
Mars.
Manga across the way.
Let's see. Sun and Rahu are
Third house from
Paishis, third house, Marula Lagna.
March
They're
aspect.
hit down in the fire.
March.
Mars is also aspecting by Rashi Drishti. This is poison and Mars is having Drishti saying added fire, bomb, fire. Now, there is an exception to this. This is in Paishis, right? So fire cannot be there.
So in
Water.
watery Rashis.
Watery
Dry
Rashis will not allow fire. Mars will not be able to function in Pisces, Taurus or Cancer. Keep that in mind. Mars and Pisces cannot give fire. It cannot also in Taurus. And it cannot in Cancer. In Scorpio it can.
Mars in Virgo.
Mars and Virgo, well... Yes, Virgo can give fire, yes. But the Rahu Sun Yoga is in Pisces. Okay? Now, we have some notes here. So this person is at risk of dying from this Rahu Sun Yoga. Mars, though associating, because this is in Pisces, will not give fire. There will not be a bomb. So the problem is poison. Now we have some notes. Death is seen in third house from Marula Lagna. We saw that. Third house from Marula Lagna is having Rahu Sun Yoga. First and eighth houses from Atma Karaka. Where is Atma Karaka? Saturn is here, Atma Karaka. First house from Atma Karaka, no planet. Eighth house from Atma Karaka, Rahu Sun. There's again a risk. Even the Lord of Atma Karaka sign is Sun over there. There's a risk. Okay. First and eighth house from Lagna. Right? First house from Lagna, Rahu Sun Yoga is not associated. Eighth house from Lagna, Rahu Sun is not associated. Okay. Fifth and 10th houses from the moon. Fifth house from moon is Gemini, Rahu Sun aspect. There's a yoga. 10th house from the moon, no planet, Lord Mars is aspecting this yoga again. So there's some association there. Okay.
Why are you using 15 times from the moon?
Yes, very good question. You see, the 8th house is where death happens, right? But death, as a manifestation in this world, is not coming from the 8th house from moon. Instead, it is coming from the 10th from the 8th, which is the 5th house. The mantra, which causes it to happen, the karma, the action. That's how it manifests. And also, in the 3rd from the 10th. 3rd from the 8th, which is 10th. Which is another Mrityu Bhava. We use, therefore, 10th house for longevity also.
So,
Like earlier we did 1st, 10th and 8th from Lagna to see longevity.
do we look at right now the reason of the death?
Yes.
Ah,
This is
reason.
all reason for that. All these. Longevity, do you want to, anybody care to give an analysis?
Looking at Lagna in 8th house
Yes?
and 10th house.
Yes.
Okay, Lagna is not, I mean, the Lord is Venus in 4th, which is good.
Very good, yes.
So that would give him
Lagna Lord well placed.
that would give him
36.
the first 36.
Yes.
Second bit would be the 8th house. In this case, 8th house is
Again, Shukra.
again the same.
Yes, but
The problem.
why?
But if they have problem, 2 minutes ago.
See, if the 8th Lord and 1st Lord are the same planet, then that 8th Lord cannot give disease, right?
Yeah.
So then we cannot treat Venus as 8th Lord, because it has to protect the Lagna. So take 8th house from Venus now.
Ah, okay, that one I didn't know.
Go ahead.
No, I was just
It was from Shukra, that's Leo, that's Shani.
8th house from Venus is Leo.
Leo.
So you'll see the sun, right? The Lord of this is the important one.
Ah, the Lord.
Always the Lord. So where's the Lord placed?
It's
And
afflicted.
6th Rahu, that
It's
combination.
afflicted over there.
Yeah.
Correct, correct. 10th Lord,
10th Lord in this chart.
Chandra, it's well placed. in
Moon
fact.
is well placed. It's joined two other planets. How are they
It's
placed?
Moon, Jupiter, there's
Moon
only
is
Shani
with
across the
Jupiter
way.
and Mercury. Seems fine, right?
But could you hang on? How can Moon in Aquarius be well placed?
Depends on also what is there. But tell me,
Shani
do you
is
think it's well
protecting
placed
this
or
Rishi.
not?
No.
Why come? How come?
I mean, yes, it has support of those other grahas, but if you look at the there's aspect of Shani on there.
Yes?
It's protecting its Rashi.
Wait, let me just.
It may
Okay.
protect Aquarius, but it will not protect the grass.
The Gracha, okay.
So there's a problem.
Yes. You're right. There's a problem there.
Yeah.
So you would say from this that between 36 and 72
Yes.
there should be.
Because I don't
minus.
think you can cross.
You don't think you can cross 72 because the 8th Lord from Venus is the Sun, badly placed.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one Khanda which is taken away. Good, 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 good. You sure there's no problem with that moon over there? How about Venus? We have not missed anything, right? How about the degrees? Seems fine, doesn't it? Seems absolutely
So how do
fine.
we deduct the rest?
No, no, you
Wait,
just look.
is it,
If you see anything, you not see anything, that's how you decide.
Well, if I can go back to basics.
It's Titi with
There's a Parivartana
What?
between there's a Parivartana between Jupiter and Rahu as well.
Jupiter and Rahu and Parivartana Yoga. So this yoga over here is suddenly not so auspicious.
Mm.
So it's leading to this death.
Mhm.
You're right. You're right. So there is a risk that this can give longevity, but because of this Rahu Sun Parivartana, Rahu Jupiter Parivartana, there's a risk this will convert to this. Good analysis, good, well found, well found. Nice. Huh. Okay.
So we're still stuck at the.
So it seems
36
like it
plus.
could be plus 36, it could be just 36 maximum. So either up to 72 or up to 36. Okay?
But could you
5th, 6th Lord Parivartana, it's not good for mantras, right?
it's not good for the future.
And now we know that the mantra is connected to longevity in this person's chart. And that is not going into a good sign. I mean, had it been own sign or something, then no problem. But this is not. Okay, let's see Navamsha now. Oh, by the way, when you see these things, it's good to look at things like 4th house and 12th house. Okay? Why? Because 4th house is medicine and 12th house is doctors. So how's the medicine? Venus over here.
Very good.
Very good medicine.
For the doctors are rubbish.
Doctors are rubbish, Ketu Mars. They don't know what they're doing, they'll want to do surgery first. Then it's retrograde, just before doing surgery they say, no, we shouldn't do surgery. Retrograde.
Why is
Ketu, completely confused. Completely confused. They don't know what they're doing, mistakes. They might be taking something for granted. Ketu will make them seem very confident, by the way. Ketu in 12th house, you expect the doctors will be very confident, know what they're doing. That's how they make mistakes. Rahu, they show you, they don't really know, they're thinking about lots of things, they're not sure. And they'll even tell you, they might be in doubt. Rahu will tell you, I'm not sure about the diagnosis. They'll tell you.
Ketu not saying.
Ketu will not say. He's too confident. He thinks he knows what he's done. Ah, standard analysis, here's the report. Ah, yes, it's like this, it must be like this. Ah, problem solved. Ah, you must be healthy. Ah, you're sick because of this simple influenza. That's Ketu. That's how they make mistakes. But what they do is they pick up the wrong report and read it. Crazy. So now is Navamsha, because this is where we have to confirm this. Atmakaraka is
What was it?
the same chart.
No, no, what was it?
Saturn.
Saturn.
Still.
So,
Couldn't remember his name.
where should we look for?
6th house from ascendant.
6th house, okay, first house from ascendant or Karakamsha is this sign. Is this associated with Rahu Sun? No.
No.
Lord Venus is in Gemini. Association with Rahu Sun?
No.
No. 6th house is Pisces. Lords are Jupiter. How's Jupiter placed? Over here. Okay? Doesn't confirm. 8th house they're from is Lagna. Is this associated with Sun Rahu?
No.
Sun is having aspect. That's all. Sun is having aspect. Rahu is in Grah Drishti, but Sun is aspecting here.
It's not a very strong association.
Definitely not. The Lord is Venus over here. No confirmation. Okay. So that's not associated with Sun Rahu. Okay, see 4th house, see the Anahata Chakra? 4th house from Atma Karaka is
Shani is very
Capricorn, right?
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Rahu aspects, but that's it. Sat is the Lord back here. Okay. See 4th house from Moon? Pisces. Moon is lording, or Jupiter's lording, you mean? Jupiter's over here again. Everything is associated with this yoga.
Yes.
Okay. Now, 4th house from Lagna? Leo.
Leo.
Also Sun gets associated. Where's the Sun? Cancer. Any yoga with Rahu?
It is Rashi Vrishti.
Rashi Drishti is there. This is the problem. Sun Rahu Yoga and 4th house from Navamsha Lagna. So there is a problem with the Anahata Chakra. We analyzed all of them. This is the only link we found to the Rahu Sun. And we saw the Rahu Sun Yoga in Rashi.
So this confirms some kind of poisoning.
So this is telling us that since the Sun Rahu Yoga is in the Rashi,
Yeah.
will it cause the actual breakage of the Anahata Chakra?
Yes.
Yes, it will cause the breakage of the Anahata Chakra. Does that mean you can confirm death in Navamsha? The yoga is there in the Rashi. You can confirm if it will cause death in the Navamsha. It may not. It will threaten death.
But Guruji,
Because we have many other houses to see death from, right? Isn't it? You saw all those houses we saw in the previous.
Yes.
So from Navamsha we can confirm which of those yogas will actually give. Yes.
So with this gentleman, if he was to be saved, there should be some benefic aspect on one of the two, either Rahu or Sun, right?
Sun.
Sun.
Because he's the 4th Lord.
Yes.
Is there?
Not really. Not as far as I can
You
see.
see any benefic aspect on that Sun?
No.
I don't.
And it's a benefic lording, but that's not enough, is it?
No.
Moon could have been cured with some
Yes,
proper
but it's
medicine then.
Marana Karaka and third from
You
Atma
could
Karaka.
infer that, yes. But as Maya says, Moon has gone to 8th house from Navamsha Lagna. He's not much of help when he's in 8th house.
No.
He really isn't.
But that's the only possibility in this chart.
He died from snake bite. Actually, it was a mosquito bite. So this doesn't refer only to snakes. This is a universal yoga for all those poisons which come into your system due to an external element. He died due to mosquito bite. Cancers are what we call a Kita Rashi. Kita Rashis cause insect bites. Even Scorpio is one of those Kita Rashis. Both Sun and Rahu are there, confirming where the bite came from. Kita, insect. Interesting, eh? When did it happen?
1995.
95. 45 years old. So what was accurate? The Parivartana worked, he lived longer.
Yes.
So he should have been between 36 and 72. You want to go back in time it more accurately? Shula Dasha, always Shula Dasha. First 9 years here
Yes.
from Lagna. 18, 27, 36, 45. He was 49, 45.
45.
When in 45? Was it November?
It happened in
September.
the 46th year then.
So, yes, so it didn't happen here, right? 9, 18, 27, 36, 45 ends here. So, as soon as he becomes just after 45 years of age, within 1 year, this Rahu Sun Yoga happened. Does it work? Rahu Sun Ketu Mas? It works.
Wow.
Shula Dasha works. Yes, it's unfortunate. It is very
It's
unfortunate.
very unfortunate.
Very nonsense that mosquito.
I'm sorry?
Very nonsense that by a mosquito.
Yes. Well, the thing is because of the Navamsha. Because these associate with the insect signs in Navamsha.
Yeah, but
Even Mars tried to get involved, because that's how they gave a bite. Or some. In fact, after the mosquito bite, he got brain fever. See, Mars? He still played a role. But it was an internal fire, not external. He got brain fever due to mosquito bite and then died.
So this fear could be related to inflammation.
Yes, exactly.
Fire, yoga for fire, wherever
Exactly.
it mentions.
The fire has to manifest, but it could not be external because of Pisces, Rashi. Got it?
Can we regard our death something if we know the exact position?
You can what to your death?
Reverse.
Yes, you can. If there's a potential, you can reverse. There's a parivartana here. You could reverse it.
It's proper mantra.
With mantra, it's 5th house. They were not into mantra such. He was warned, but what to do? You must need a break now, I think.
Please.